Loud music leads to murder. This video is insane. I skimmed through it on TikTok. I even deep dived and went and looked at some of the news reports. It's very crazy. Chat, everybody, y'all already know the vibes. Go grab your popcorn, go grab your chips, go grab your drinks, grab what you need to grab. It's a 30-minute long video, so we're gonna be here for a minute. But everybody, lock in on this video because this is truly one of the most insane interrogation and investigation videos that I have ever seen. Everybody lock in, here we go.
This was the Dubberly family. Before 1988, they lived a happy life in Alturas, Florida. They went to church every Sunday and never caused any trouble. On June 14th, 16-year-old Dwayne Dubberly found a disturbing letter in the mailbox, threatening the family to move out of Florida, or they would all die.
Yo, what would y'all do if you got a letter in the mail randomly and it didn't have a name on it or anything? And it said, leave your house, move away, or you will die. What would you do? If you just randomly looked in your mailbox one day and seen a letter from somebody saying, if you don't move away, you're gonna die, what are you doing, man?
Dwayne showed the letter to his parents.
I'm getting my ass up out of there. I'm running away as fast as possible because you never know if it's actually the truth. You don't know if it's somebody playing games. You don't know what's about to happen, bro. So you gotta really lock in when you get some message like that.
His mother, Peggy, started to worry,
Brianna.
while her husband, Pi, dismissed it as a prank. October 23rd, 4 months later, Dwayne's mother, Peggy, fell suddenly ill, complaining.
Yo, see, look, chat, see, look. They was just dismissing it like it was a prank. They was sitting there acting like it was a prank. They probably threw it away, tore it up. They probably just, you know, moved it to the side, let it go through one ear, out the other, and they didn't think about it again. They messed up, and y'all about to see why. They really messed up not taking that letter more serious, bro.
Of nausea and extreme pain, losing large amounts of hair. As her condition got worse, Peggy's husband, Pi, refused to take her to the hospital. 1 week later, Peggy fell into a coma. Her son Dwayne started having the same symptoms. December 2nd, police identified the cause of the sickness as thallium, a deadly chemical used in rat poison. When authorities tested the...
I was looking into this earlier. I did not know what thallium was. I heard it in this video, and I never knew what thallium was. Apparently, thallium is the choice of poison for all murderers. So whenever people want to murder somebody by poisoning them, it's thallium. That's what they use most of the time because thallium, it makes them lose hair. It makes them lose brains. Like it fully turns you into a zombie, bro. And these murderers are able to literally watch their victims die slowly. It's very gruesome and fucked up, but it's crazy what thallium can do, especially large amounts like what these people consume.
Remaining members of the family, all of them showed high amounts of thallium, even Pi, Peggy's husband. The mystery that threatens the life of Dwayne and his family would remain unsolved, unless, by some miracle, one undercover agent could catch the killer before he makes another victim.
To murder somebody by poisoning is exceptionally rare.
This takes a great deal of intelligence. This is not a brute force weapon.
He was a very evil, very devious person.
Susan could have very well been his next murder victim.
He's not.
Chat, y'all gotta think about how messed up somebody has to be to poison somebody, watch them die slowly, and like quite literally just slowly deteriorate. Holy shit, wait, am I saying that word wrong? Deteriorate. What the fuck? Wait, chat, hold on. Deteriorate. You know what? Fuck it. The English language isn't for me. Back to the reaction.
Not the kind of person to get mad. He's the kind that would get even.
That could be nasty.
Yeah, I would imagine.
The year is 1988. 16-year-old Dwayne Dubberly lives a happy life with his loving family. His mother, Peggy, works as a waitress at the local diner. After years of raising 3 children on her own, she marries Pi Carr, who has 2 children himself.
They seem to be happy. My mom loved him more than anything.
We seen all the heartbreak that she had gotten in her life. I was hoping that Pi was going to be the one.
The nuclear family moves in together in the quiet town of Alturas, Florida. a perfect place to raise a family where nothing bad ever happens and no one
Let me tell you this. It's always the small towns. It's always the little mini cities that have the worst people in them. The murderers, the drug dealers, all that crazy shit. It's in the smallest towns, bro. I'm telling you. Every time. Like Moultrie, where I live. It's a small town, but it's crazy.
locks their door. October 23rd, in the early hours of the morning, Peggy leaves for work. Shortly after arriving at the diner, Peggy begins to feel ill, complaining of burning in her legs and feet and an intense chest pain. When Peggy is taken to the hospital, she is almost incapacitated. Doctors put her under observation and collect blood samples for tests. But as every test comes back negative, her physician is unable to make a diagnosis.
Yo, I wonder how, like, getting poison feels. How they're describing this feels so gruesome and just sickening. I don't see how somebody can murder a person by poisoning them and just sit back and watch them slowly die. That is fucked up, bro. Like, genuinely.
Peggy is sent home with nothing more than a prescription for the pain.
She was laying in bed and she couldn't move. She said she couldn't open her eyes. She was nauseated. She was sick. She was very sick.
October 30th, 1 week after her first symptoms, Peggy, her son Dwayne, and her stepson Travis are all rushed to Winter Haven Hospital. All of them have the same symptoms.
Throwing up, super dehydrated. The pain that I had was unbearable. It was like 1,000 needles just wrapped around your foot.
Yo, just imagine trying to walk around and all you feel all day is tingling in the bottom of your feet. Your body's aching. You're slowly feeling like you're dying. Just imagine that feeling, Chad. That's gotta feel so terrible, bro.
I was just crying. Me and Travis were both just crying.
I honestly thought I was gonna die.
As Peggy is put in the intensive care unit, infectious disease specialist Robert Van Hook notices something alarming.
At one point, she was noticed to have her hair coming out.
Oh,
it was
shit.
not just a few hairs, she was losing excessive amounts of hair.
Dr. Van Hook fears the worst. This might be a result of poison, one that wouldn't show up on regular lab tests, but he's only read about this type of poison in medical books. He then decides to run one more test for thallium poisoning. Thallium was widely used in rat poison until 1972, when it was banned in the United States. If ingested, it can cause delirium, paralysis, even death. The worst.
Yo, chat, have y'all ever heard them stories? Have y'all ever heard them stories of people saying if rat poisoning gets put in your food, you're gonna die? This is what they were talking about. They wasn't talking about regular rat poison. They was talking about thallium. This is the exact chemical that they was talking about. If this gets put in your food, drinks, anything, you're not gonna be able to see it. You're not gonna be able to smell it. You're not gonna be able to taste it. You're not gonna be able to even know it is there until you end up showing symptoms of having it in your food. That's how easy this shit is to slip into somebody's drinks, food, whatever, and it'll kill you like that. If you have too high of a dosage of this shit, it will completely ruin your body, bro.
Part is, there is no known cure to thallium poisoning. When the test comes back, it shows that Peggy has, in her system, 50 times the maximum amount a human can survive.
Holy shit! 50 times the maximum amount? Yo, if she survives that, she's a superwoman. Like, seriously, you cannot survive that amount of thallium, bro. This shit is deadly. 50 times is crazy. That means they had to put like this much in them Coke bottles, bro. That is insane.
October 31st, Peggy falls into a coma. Her stepson Travis is put on a respirator, and her son Dwayne is not showing any signs of improvement.
I remember waking up in the hospital, hysterical, what's going on? Where's mom at? Is she okay?
Despite the pain, Dwayne asks to be wheeled up 4 floors to see his mom, but nothing can prepare him for what he's about to see.
Her hair was gone. She weighed probably 90 pounds.
Damn.
They had a cap on her. They didn't want to give me
90
the shock of my
pounds?
life to see her laying there. I remember me.
Yo, the thought of seeing my mom laying there, losing hair, barely being able to breathe, skin deteriorating, all of that, like, it would make me sick to my stomach, bro. I would not be able to see my mom like that, chat. I would rather remember her for the good memories that we had than seeing her on her deathbed like that. That might be a controversial topic, and that might be a controversial sentence for me saying that, but I don't care, bro. I would rather remember my mom for the good memories than like seeing her in her deathbed dying from poison and like losing skin and hair and all of that, bro. Agree or disagree?
Thinking and hoping, everybody tells you, she can hear you, talk to her, she can hear you.
Right away, police do everything they can to find the source of the poisoning. Detective Ernie Mincy of the Polk County Sheriff's Office is assigned to the case.
Our sole purpose was to identify that poison and have it removed from the environment to prevent further injury to any of the persons.
They investigate the orange grove surrounding the area, the neighborhood water supply, even the restaurant where Peggy works, but no trace of thallium is found. It isn't long before the public is made aware of the situation and panic begins to spread.
The community was clamoring for answers so that they would know whether or not they were safe.
I mean, we truly didn't know in the very beginning how this all came about. How did these people ingest? How did they touch? How did they inhale?
Some of your first thoughts are the worst thoughts. How many more people will show up at the hospital with this heavy metal poisoning?
Investigators scour the Carr home, collecting dust samples, and gather more than 400 household items for laboratory analysis. One of them comes back positive, a 6-pack of Coke bottles, where 3 remained unopened.
Yo, how do you even ingest some shit like this? Like, how does this even get contaminated in your food or something? Without somebody putting it there. But even then, you can't legally own thallium. So thallium is not something that you can go find in a drugstore or anywhere like that. You have to be a person with really high intelligence and knowledge to know where to get some thallium, bro. That is a very highly, it's not an easy thing to contain. It's not an easy thing to get, bro.
Inside, test results show each contained more than a gram of thallium, enough to kill an adult. Detective Mincy knows there are only 2 possible scenarios. The first one being product tampering at the Coke factory. If that's the case, how many more people have drunk the poison?
Where else could this be throughout not only the county but the state?
Around the time that this happened, I bet everybody was probably freaking out. The whole world was probably having a shit show about, oh my God, Coca-Cola products are poisoning people. Coca-Cola products have thallium in it. There was probably a whole worldwide shutdown for Coca-Cola. The damn business probably didn't even run well for that time being until they figured out what was going on with this thallium poisoning shit. I wouldn't have drunk Coca-Cola neither though. If I was in that scenario and anywhere around my town or state, city, country, whatever, had thallium in their Coca-Cola cans or Coca-Cola bottles, you got me fucked up. I'm not drinking that shit neither, bro. Dead ass, I'm not drinking that shit.
Of the nation.
They had people down here who were scared to death to drink Coke.
Facts.
The initial step was to look at the bottling company and see what could have happened there.
But with Coca-Cola's collaboration, a large-scale tampering is quickly ruled out.
It was actually physically
okay, never mind. They're about to say what I was about to say.
Tamper with the product at the plant.
Which leaves Detective Mincy.
It would be almost impossible for Coca-Cola products to have thallium in it, especially the amount that was put into the bottles that this family drunk. There was a gram of thallium. That's a lot of that shit, bro. It couldn't just get slipped into a Coca-Cola product, especially not at a manufacturer. It would have happened.
In one scenario, this is a targeted attack on Peggy Carr and her family. As the investigation focuses on finding a suspect, they first take a look at the family members.
Her husband was a suspect when Peggy was very sick, and Ty didn't appear to be. Obviously, you think of him.
We dug very deeply at that point into Ty Carr's background.
Okay, chat, listen, y'all know I like to do this. Let's get some predictions real quick. Everybody in the chat, do y'all think it is the husband? This is the first suspect. Do we think the husband is the person who done this? Before anything else is said, do y'all think the husband is the one who done it? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I do not think the husband done it. I did skim through this, so I actually know the husband didn't do it. But I will tell y'all, the person who did do it, It's insane when y'all see it, bro.
Anything that would show motivation to poison his wife.
Yeah, Brianna, he did
Although
it.
Peggy and Carr got married only 7 months earlier, it seems their honeymoon was short-lived. Pi had been working long hours at the mine, and Peggy had grown suspicious. One night,
Yo, his name kills me, bro. Who names their son Pi? Why the fuck is your name Pi, bro? Out of all of the names in this life that your parents gave you, they chose Pi. They should have just given them the number pi at that point. And people could have called him 0. Blah, 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 whatever the fuck pi actually is.
she found him with another woman. Detective Minzy also learns that the weekend Peggy first became ill, Pi was conveniently out of town. When he came back, he resisted taking his wife to the hospital.
I specifically remember my sister saying, no, I'm taking her.
Low-key, that's weird. Why would he not take his wife to the hospital if she's clearly sick and ill, bro?
Her to the hospital. He's like, no, just, it's flu, it'll pass. I physically picked her up out of bed because she couldn't walk and carried her to my sister's car.
Everything seems to point to Pi Carr. Even Dwayne thinks he might be guilty.
I think he treated my mother horrible. I thought that he poisoned my mother because he wanted out of the marriage. I mean, my mom was in the hospital. I don't remember him ever shedding a tear, ever, not one time.
But something doesn't sit well with Detective Minzy. Why would Pi Carr poison his own son, Travis? When they interrogate him, Pi reveals a clue that would confuse the police even further. June 14th, 4 months before—
Oh my God, wait, chat. I just realized something. Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna let the video play, but I think I know what's about to happen here.
Or Peggy is poisoned. Dwayne finds a letter in the mailbox.
Yep. Oh my God, I knew
Inside
it.
is a yellow post-it with a threatening note typewritten on it.
It said, you and all your so-called family.
I knew it. I knew they was about to bring up this point. The fact that they got this letter in the mail is probably the only thing that made it to where the husband wasn't the main suspect, bro. The fact that they got this letter kind of turns this whole investigation around. You know what I mean, chat? Imagine getting this. It says, you and all of your so-called family have 2 weeks to move out of Florida forever, or else all of you will die. That is insane. Imagine getting this in the letter, or imagine getting this letter in the mail, bro. That would be sickening. I would move the fuck away, chat.
Exactly 2 weeks to move out of the state of Florida or you will all die. And then at the bottom it said, this is no joke. We were kids and we just laughed it off. Pi left it off. Nothing happened. We didn't call the cops.
The letter is addressed to Pi Carr, with his name misspelled. Could Pi Carr have sent the letter to himself? Then, Detective Minzy learns of another incident a few years prior.
2 of the Carr dogs died suddenly within a couple weeks of each other.
Both dogs had become very ill. Their fur had fallen out.
We suspect
Sounds
they
familiar,
experimented
chat.
on the dog first.
As Peggy's state continues to deteriorate, and Dwayne and Travis show no sign of improvement, the rest of the family are tested for thallium. The results are far worse than anyone expected,
Everyone in the house had thallium in their system.
including Pi Carr,
Damn.
which means he's no longer a suspect.
I was about to say, bro, you gotta think about it. If the man himself that they're trying to say did this has thallium in his system, somebody who's trying to murder other people are not gonna put thallium in their system as well. Because I'm gonna explain something. Thallium is one of the worst chemicals you can put in your body. Like, even a small dosage of that shit can hurt a really big human, bro. So this guy would be dumb to put the thallium in the family's system and his own. It would be dumb of him to do that. He would be chancing his own life right there, bro.
I wouldn't.
Unless he knew he wanted to kill himself after killing the family, that'd be the only way it makes sense.
Hold thallium powder in my hand. Anybody that had enough knowledge to do this crime wouldn't ingest thallium and take that risk.
Yeah, facts.
They
That
just
shit is
wouldn't
deadly,
do
bro.
it.
2-year-old Casey, Peggy's granddaughter, also has traces of thallium. March 3rd, 1989. Peggy has been suffering for 5 months when Dwayne is asked to come to her bedside for the last time. The family now needs to make the difficult decision to take her off life support.
She's not coming back. She's brain dead.
Yo, that's gotta be sad.
Said that you're gonna see her lungs inflate and deflate quite a few times, and then that's it.
Yo, I could not see my mom going through some shit like that. Neither of my parents, my mom nor my dad. I could not be able to sit there and watch my mom or my dad on their deathbed. It would ruin me, bro. I would rather memorize them for the things that they done while they was here than memorize them for the time that they last lived and took their last breath, bro.
That was it. It was terrible. I just lost the most important thing in my life. She was gone.
Peggy Carr dies at the Bartow Memorial Hospital. She was only 41. The nuclear family is shattered. As Dwayne is recovering slowly from the poisoning, he and his siblings are sent to live with relatives. Pi and his kids also move out. The house in Alturas is abandoned. For Detective Mincy, her tragic death changes everything. This is now a murder investigation.
To murder somebody by poisoning is exceptionally rare. It is something that has to be thought up in a very demented mind by a very brilliant person who thinks that they're smarter than everyone else.
When the FBI examines a contaminated...
Yo, facts. You gotta think about that, bruh. For somebody to have poison, for one, for somebody to even think about wanting to poison an individual, you have to be so intelligent, because it is not an easy thing to just slip poison into somebody's shit. It's not easy to just think out a process of how you're gonna poison somebody and watch it play out without there being evidence behind it. So whoever's doing this has to be a literal mastermind, like brilliant person. And you can't do this if you're just an average human with average knowledge. You gotta be a full-on chemistrist or whatever they're called to be able to think of some shit like this and do some shit like this, especially putting it in fucking Coke bottles. Bro, he put it in their Coke bottles. I feel like they would notice it at least being in their Coke bottles. You would see it at the bottom of that shit. It wouldn't disintegrate like that.
Coke bottles, they find tiny scratch marks. This indicates the bottles were meticulously opened, the thallium added in, and the caps were replaced and sealed shut.
Wow.
Thallium is tasteless, odorless, and easily dissolved. It also causes soda to overflow, changes its color, and leaves a sediment at the bottom. But the mixture found in the soda avoided these problems. Whoever laced the Coke bottles with thallium has a sophisticated knowledge of chemistry.
Oh my God, I just said that. Yo, I was about to say, if they didn't see the thallium, you got to think about it. If they didn't see the thallium at the bottom, they had to like shake these Coke cans up or something. They had to do something to make that shit not be at the bottom of that, Coke bottle, or else they would have seen it, bro. You're not finna get away with having a bunch of dust particles at the bottom of a fucking Coke can without it being fully dissolved. Nobody's gonna drink a Coke that has shit at the bottom of it, bro. Nobody. I know good and damn well I wouldn't.
This was the work of a highly intelligent individual, one that would be very hard to catch. Police begin questioning neighbors of the Carr house and around town.
Alturas is a very small community, a few hundred people. I think interviewed every single person that lived in Alturas.
The closest residence in the vicinity is that of George Trepal and his wife Diana. When Detective Mincy interrogates him, Trepal's reaction to the subject of the Carrs is shockingly harsh.
He went into a tirade about the problems with these red-necked children and family that lived next to him.
Then, Mincy asks him why he thinks anyone would want to poison the Carr family.
The same question I'd asked to many other people. And the normal standard response was, I don't know. I have no idea. His response was, someone wanted them to leave.
Oh, shit! Wait a second. Oh, he just incriminated himself. Nobody else even knew that there was a postcard, I don't think, that was sent to the mailbox. He just literally snitched on himself. He said someone wanted them to leave after there was a literal message sent in the mail of somebody telling them to get the fuck up out of the house or they're gonna be murdered. Nah, this guy's smart, chat. He might not be smart for doing what he just done, but this guy's smart.
the same message that was written in the threatening letter.
He said exactly what was in the note. Nobody else knew of its existence except for law enforcement.
He made himself a suspect.
Police find out that George Trapal is a self-taught chemist. His wife Diana has a master's degree in chemistry. Both are highly intelligent people and members of Mensa, an elite society for people with IQs in the top 2% of the population.
How high of an IQ? Oh, hold on. Let me do some research on this. How high does your IQ need to be to be considered top 2%? Oh my gosh. Yo, and I'm pretty sure whenever I looked into this, they said this guy had a 200 plus IQ, bro. Whenever I looked at the news reports on this, I'm pretty sure they said the guy had a 200 plus IQ. So to be in the top 2%, you got to have 130 or higher. I think this guy had a 200 or some crazy ass number like that.
When they dig further into his background, investigators find out that George has served time in prison.
He had been the chemist in a major methamphetamine laboratory in the Southeast.
I ain't gonna lie, Chad, he looked like a damn meth head.
The ingredients often used in the production of amphetamine, thallium. George Trapal is now a person of interest, which comes as a surprise, even to Peggy's son, Dwayne.
I said, they've got the wrong guy. That guy couldn't hurt a flea. There's no way this guy could do that.
He did. It's seeming like he fucking did.
Detective Minzy also finds out that Trapal had an argument with the Carrs over some loud music.
George Trapal was standing behind our vehicles hollering, telling us to turn the music down. So we turned the music down, and he's like, "Is your mother here?" We're like, no, we're sorry, we'll keep it down. And he took off.
But who would ever suspect a poisoning over some kids playing a television or a radio too loud?
Yo, you gotta think about that. Why would this guy kill some kids or try to kill some kids and a whole family over music being too loud? That's some twisted shit, bro. To kill a whole family, or at least try, even just trying, that's twisted as fuck, dude.
Less than 48 hours after the argument, Peggy was poisoned. Investigators are convinced they have the right man, but without any proof, they can't arrest him. In most cases, one possible option is to bring the suspect in for questioning and hope to get a confession. But detectives think that wouldn't work on Trapal.
He was introverted, he was very quiet, he was not confrontational.
Grabbing a guy like that and bringing him in will only make him shut down.
The FBI suggests there's only one alternative. Someone must go undercover and outsmart the certified genius at his own game. Detective Ernest Minzy assigns Special Agent Susan Gorick to the case. She's asked to infiltrate the Mensa group to which George Trapal belongs.
We suspected it would only be for that weekend that I would have to do the undercover role. And I was told to be careful because the person had a photographic memory, so if he saw us, that he could remember our cars or our faces.
Yo, I was just about to say, dealing with somebody like this, they gotta be on high alert. Like, I'm talking about, they gotta be ready for anything and everything. This guy is a mastermind genius. He is one of the top 2% smartest people in the world. That is a very intelligent human, bro. To be able to outsmart somebody like this and get them to confess, like she's putting her life on the line right here. She's risking her whole life going and doing this and setting herself up and playing a role to be somebody else just to try and catch this guy. She might get poisoned, bro. She's literally setting herself up to possibly die here. But it's worth it, especially if they solve this case.
Under an assumed name, Susan is planning to attend a Mensa murder mystery weekend that George and his wife Diana are hosting. Susan Gorick becomes Sherry Gwynn, a woman on the verge of divorce from an abusive husband. April 14, 1989, Susan Gorick heads to the local hotel where the event is being hosted. When she arrives, She's greeted by George Trepal himself. Detective Gorick is now face to face with the suspected killer.
The biggest fear that I had was that he had seen me when I was doing surveillance. I really took a deep breath and I looked for any recognition in his eyes.
Trepal doesn't seem to recognize Susan, but she can't be sure. After all, he's not a confrontational person who would just come out and say it. Susan has to play along.
He's not going to get in your face. He's going to poison you so that you die a slow, painful death.
Yo, see, if I'm these people, if I'm one of these cops, I'm getting my ass in there and I'm getting my ass out. If I don't find nothing out, so be it. Dying to poison has to be one of the worst things imaginable. I want y'all to really take it into consideration and think about how dying to poison really probably feels. It is sitting there eating inside. It is eating you from the inside out. You're literally dying from the inside out. It slowly kills you, bro. Think about slowly dying, slowly being tortured. That's what poison's gonna do to you, man. So if I'm them, I'm getting my ass in there and I'm getting my ass out very quickly.
We put her in a very dangerous position.
I told him who I was, Sherry Gwynn, and that I needed to register. And he handed me a packet with the weekend's information.
The pamphlet was made by George himself. It includes several well-planned-out murder scenarios members will have to solve during the weekend. One of them is a poisoning.
One of the paragraphs that he wrote in this report said,
"Oh no, he's cooked. Oh yeah, he's cooked. He's doing it to himself. He's hosting an event and he's literally putting in front of these people's face what he done. And the only person that knows about it is the investigator that is trying to catch his ass right now." Oh, yo, that's gotta be, to be able to see that firsthand and literally watch a killer put that information in front of all these clueless people's face, and it's actually a real story, but none of them know it, has to be such a crazy sight to see, bro. That investigator, or not investigator, that interrogator, investigator, whatever she is probably sitting there in the back of her mind like, oh, we got this guy now. He's cooked. We done got his ass for sure this time.
When a death threat appears on the doorstep, prudent people throw out all their food and watch what they eat. Most items on the doorstep are just a neighbor's way of saying,
what the letter said.
I don't like you, move or else.
The message is eerily similar to the one the Carr's family received before Peggy was poisoned. Right away, Susan knows she has the right suspect.
After I read that, I knew that it was just not coincidence.
As she tries to engage Trepal in conversation, Susan watches every word she says. One slip, and it could cost her her life.
How the fuck did they get video footage? Is that what I'm seeing? It's looking like they got video footage of this shit. How do they have video footage without getting caught, bro?
When he asked me about my background, I told him that my husband was a lawyer from Houston, Texas, and that I had left him. Talked about how he knew someone was lying by the way that their neck muscles moved. It made me very nervous.
Before the weekend is over, Sherry confides in George that she intends to move to Florida to get away from her husband. That's when Detective Gorick gets her first break.
We have 2 winners because one winner is nasty.
George said that they were thinking about moving his wife's practice and that they would be selling their house. After I talked to my supervisors, they immediately wanted me to follow up. They said, it'll just be a week.
The undercover operation, which was supposed to last only for a weekend, is extended. Susan will continue to put her life at risk and carry on the role of Sherry.
Chat, she really is putting her life at risk, bro. At any moment, this guy could slip poison in her drink. Like, if he finds something out, if he realizes that she is a fake character and she's just playing a role to catch him, he's gonna take his chance when he gets it, bro. He's gonna poison her, and it's not gonna end good.
But she knows this could be the perfect opportunity to find evidence that could help her team get a search warrant for the house.
Maybe he'd open a closet and I'd see lab equipment or maybe some chemicals or something. The following week, I went over to the house.
While touring the house, Trepal tells Sherry that Alturas is so safe no one locks their door. What Susan discovers around the house raises suspicions, but nothing is enough to get a search warrant.
He did show me a small secret passageway that he had built into the library upstairs.
Yo, what? This guy's on some Scooby-Doo shit. He goddamn passageways and random doors in his house. I'm telling y'all, this is some mastermind, genius, weirdo shit that he's got going on. Like scary ass weirdo genius shit, bruh.
He did have a mannequin that had some bondage type things.
The plan has failed. After leaving the house, Susan must maintain her Sherry Gwynn persona in order to collect as much evidence as she can against George Trepal, all while knowing that he's a highly intelligent killer.
I had to be very careful. I had 2 children at home and a husband that could be my life and my family's life.
If he found out that she was an undercover detective with the sheriff's office, then she would end up poisoned as well.
Over the passing months, Susan meets Trepal over a series of lunch dates. A surveillance team watches from a...
Yo, did they just say that this operation lasted months? Yeah, this lady got balls of steel. Like, I'm talking about balls of steel, bro. To be able to sit there and go months dealing with a killer, not just a killer, somebody who's poisoning folks, you gotta be a crazy ass woman, dude. You gotta have some balls of steel to do that shit, bro.
Far, capturing his every move.
Every time I left the table and came back, I would never eat or drink anything else.
That's smart.
It took me a long time for him to confide in me enough for me to understand just how much he hated people that had less intelligence than him.
After 8...
Yo, that's one of the problems with these geniuses nowadays, bruh. All these people who are like smart as shit, geniuses, and like have all of this knowledge, they look at everybody with less knowledge as if they are like less than, as if they are stupid. You know what I'm saying, bro? These mastermind people, the people that have high IQs and know more about human intelligence and just the mind in general, are fucked up individuals, bro. Most of them are killers too. I don't know if y'all looked at it, but if any of y'all notice, there's studies shown that people with higher IQs are actually more likely to be murderers and like weirdos and all kinds of shit like that, because they have so much knowledge in their brain and they have so much going on in their thought process at once. It kind of spazzes them out, bro. I mean, I don't know the exact knowledge behind it, but in my words, in my vocabulary, that's how I would explain it.
Months, Susan has collected a large amount of small evidence, but not enough to build a case against George Trepal. Her supervisors are beginning to question the value of her operation. They could shut her down at any moment. But to Susan, this means more than just a failed assignment. She can't help but think of her own family. It could have been her husband, Gary, or her 12-year-old son, Greg, or even her 2-year-old son, Stephen, who drank the poison.
She's got a good reason to be doing
Peggy
it,
and her family deserve justice. Susan has to bring in results, and soon. December 1989, Detective Gorick gets the call she's been waiting for. George and his wife Diana have moved out of town and are allowing Sherry Gwynn to move into their home. Without a warrant, Susan now has legal permission to invite the Polk County Crime Scene Unit inside the house.
And let me tell y'all, that's where this guy fucked up. Even though he didn't know she was an investigator, that is where he fucks up. Because whenever she gets in this house, she has full rights to anything and everything that is in it. So if there's books, if there's a couch, if there is a chemical bag, chemical box, chemical container, anything like that, and it contains thallium on it, he's going to jail. Even if he didn't have this murder investigation on his case right now, he would still go to jail because thallium is illegal.
But because they believe Trepal would be too smart to leave thallium around the house, they look for traces of residue instead.
I truly believe that if we were going to find thallium, that it would probably be either in the air conditioning filter or possibly down one of the drains.
George Trepal and his wife left the house filled with their stuff, which allows the unit to collect samples. In the garage, They collect vials and chemistry bottles to be sent for analysis. Susan hopes one of them will come back positive for thallium. But while they're waiting for the results from the FBI lab, Susan needs to continue her role of deception.
I was starting to run out of ideas and run out of scenarios to put him through.
Time is running out. January 1990. With no news from the lab, Susan can no longer wait for the results. She has to take action and decides to try and trick Trapal into incriminating himself. What Susan doesn't know is...
That's where she should not do that. Yo, if he finds out that she is trying to catch him in this murder case, it is as simple as slipping something in her drink. It is as simple as her turning around and him poking her with a needle or something. It's so easy for her to die in this situation, bro. And I'm gonna be honest, man, that right there, trying to put pressure on him about it, she putting herself in a sticky situation, dude.
Trapal is also preparing a trap for her.
I had George meet me at a little picnic area behind a McDonald's in Sebring.
The meeting between Detective Gorick and George Trapal is recorded on tape.
How are you?
Fine.
Good.
How's your world going?
Well, not real good, and that's what I need to talk to you about.
Okay.
I think you neglected to tell me something.
Oh, what then?
Something had happened in the neighborhood.
That was the dumbest way she could have introduced the topic. I have something I need to talk to you about. I have some, like, bro, what are you doing?
I told him that I had had 2 detectives come and talk to me when I moved into his house.
Oh, yeah, somebody else voice next door.
That might not be a lot to you, but it's a lot to me.
Oh, well, sorry.
They said they never caught the person that did it, and it really frightened me. You don't seem overly concerned that that's not why you moved out, is it? You weren't afraid, were you?
Apparently some sort of personal vendetta. I mean, it's not like,
Oh my gosh. Oh, wait, whoa. He just incriminated himself again. Listen to what he just said.
You weren't afraid, were you?
apparently some sort of personal vendetta. I mean, it's not like...
He said apparently it's something personal. How is he gonna know that if he's not the person who done it? He might not be as smart as they saying he is. He sounds like a fucking dumbass at this point.
They're running around poisoning everybody.
No one knew that. The crime had not been solved.
Facts.
At that point, there was really no doubt left in my mind that he was the one that had done it.
Susan hands him a business card she says detectives left behind. She tells him they came looking for him. Right away, Trapal's behavior begins to change.
And he started getting extremely nervous.
I know, Becca, he does.
I'll ask him, don't you? He seems to be really interested in me. I really don't know what's going on. Something isn't falling in place here.
Yo, to be a mastermind genius, oh nah, he's under a lot of pressure right here too. To be a genius and to be a very smart human like this guy and being in this amount of pressure, he probably knows what to do and say, but he's probably like, oh my gosh, I feel stupid. For the first time in his life, he probably feels stupid because he's not getting away with what he did, bro. And it's gonna make him crash. It's gonna make him freak out.
I hope I'm not a prime suspect. That could be messy.
That could be messy.
I would imagine.
Then, George asks her repeatedly to come over to his new house.
Oh, hell no.
So if you want a grand tour of the house, I'll be happy to give.
I'm not going to that new house. I don't give a damn how far into this investigation I'm getting. I'm not going into that house. He's gonna poison the damn lady that's doing the investigation too, bro.
We've got into it.
Can I take a rain check on it?
Susan declines. But what would have happened if she had agreed to go to his house? After meeting, Trapal walks away, visibly shaken by the news.
Friday, 11:30, and he's leaving. Very worried.
He's probably like, what the fuck does this bitch know? What does she know that I don't know? He's probably thinking, she knows something about this case. And now he's probably thinking, she's a detective.
April 4th, 1990. Susan gets a call she didn't expect.
And I said, "You're kidding." And he said, "No, they're on the phone, and they found thallium."
The FBI confirms that one of the vials found in Trapal's garage contained thallium-1 nitrate, the exact compound used in the murder of Peggy Carr and the attempted murder of her entire family.
He's cooked. 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 His ass is going to jail. Goodbye, buddy. They found thallium in his house. What did I tell y'all? Even if this wasn't a murder investigation, he's still gonna go to jail because thallium is illegal in the state or in the United States, bro. It's legal. It's illegal.
We had a lot of circumstantial evidence, but this was the only piece of real evidence. I was just elated.
April 5th, George Trapal is arrested at his new home of Sebring.
I seen it on TV, them walking George Trapal in his orange outfit into the Polk County Jail. The same guy that I trusted and mowed his driveway.
He remains unfazed, even when his friend, Sherry Gwynn, presents her true identity to him.
I said, "George, my name is Special Agent Susan Gorick. I work with the Polk County Sheriff's Office, and I'm here to serve this on you and to get handwriting samples." And he looked at me and said, "Oh, okay."
That's what's wrong with them. That's what's wrong with them. These people that got big brains and a lot of intelligence, that's what's wrong with them, bro. They are too smart. He knows not to give too long of a sentence because he could incriminate himself, bro. He can make it worse on himself, which he already has. But thinking about it in this standpoint, he's trying to kind of stay a little bit more quiet because now he knows that they know something, you know?
He just smiled at me.
But Susan has no idea yet just how close she came to becoming his next murder victim.
Oh, shit.
When police search Trapal's home in Sebring, they make a shocking discovery. As they look for a hidden room, like the one in George Trapal's previous house, they find a door behind a pegboard.
He opened the door, and there's no inside door handle.
The only window in the soundproof space has been sealed. Inside the room is a platform bed with wood stirrups.
He was building a bed on which to torture.
She was next. Oh, yo, wait a second. So, wait, he probably knew she was a detective the whole entire time. He probably knew that she was on his case the whole time. That's why he was asking her, "Do you want to come to my house? Do you want to come over? Do you want to this? Do you want to?" Because he was finna, if she would have went to his house, she would have been dead. Oh my gosh, chat. Wait a second, bro. That's gruesome though. Think about it. He was building a bed. This is a brand new house of his. He just got this place. He has a bed that he was planning on torturing her on. Not just killing her, but literal torture, bro. That's insane.
He even had a pulley system to lift people.
What?
And I was so glad that I had not gone.
If she would have went, she would not be here today.
Might have not found me.
She just saw herself as being the person George had built that for.
January 1991. As George Trapal's trial begins, the jury is presented with overwhelming evidence against him. They show the items collected at Trapal's house, a journal titled General Poisoning Guides, in which the use of thallium is described as the poison of choice by criminals. In this journal, there is even a reference handwritten by Trapal about getting rid of the neighbors. A total of 55 fingerprints are found in that journal, all belonging to George Trapal. The prosecutor also shows the tools used in the decapsulating of the Coke bottles.
He had a set of very tiny screwdrivers, like jeweler's.
They got all the evidence building up on his ass, bro. They got everything. There's no shot he gets out of this, bruh.
Screwdrivers.
When they compare the tools to the marks on the bottle caps, the jury is shocked.
Those tool marks fit perfectly with one screwdriver that was missing in the jeweler's screwdriver set.
Damn.
During the entire trial, Trapal remains calm, emotionless, sometimes even smiling.
George Trapal is truly evil. He knew
what he was going to do. The little girl had thallium in her, and he...
That was the craziest part to me is he poisoned a little baby. That was the craziest part. How could you poison a little baby, bro? That is sickening, man.
Didn't care.
The reasonings behind what he done over loud music.
That's
he took somebody's life.
Over loud music,
the most
bro?
horrible act that I've ever seen as a homicide investigator. He killed one person, put her through torture before her death. He justified it with his superior intelligence and the fact that people with lesser intelligence did not deserve to live.
This is what I was talking about earlier. When I said these people with high intelligence are absolutely fucked up humans, that is what I meant right there. Did y'all hear what he just said? Yo, that is one of the most disgusting sentences I've ever heard in my life, and I don't want to hear that shit again. They just said he told the juror, he told all the judges, everybody in there, that the reason he did it was because he doesn't think people with less intelligence than him deserve to live. Wow.
The trial lasts for 2 whole months, but it only takes the jury 4 hours to reach a verdict. March 6, 1991, 2 years almost to the day after Peggy's death, George Trepal is found guilty on all counts. He is sentenced to death.
The defendant, George James Trepal, shall be electrocuted until he is dead.
He got the electric chair. Oh, but we got to think about this. This was back in like 1980s, bro. 1990s. This was an old ass case right here. So the electric chair was a normal thing back then.
It's been a long, hard struggle. Peggy was in hell. You'd have to have seen her to know what she went through.
And I'm glad it's over with.
The genius who thought he could commit the perfect crime has been defeated.
He might have had a higher IQ than most of the world, but he certainly wasn't smarter than Susan.
Oh, yo, yeah, let's talk about that. That lady right there, a trooper. I wouldn't have even went into that shit. That lady right there is a trooper, bro. The fact that she went into that investigation the way she did, guns blazing, stayed in it for months, went on dates with this guy, all kinds of shit to get the answers, and she's the only reason that this case even got solved. If she would not have done what she done and put on, all the pressure she put on him, she would not have solved this case. So without her, the family would have never got justice, bro.
I was relieved because the family needed closure.
Susan Gorick brought justice to Peggy's family.
Facts.
She risked everything to put this criminal mind behind bars.
She put her life at risk just to, bring somebody's killer to justice. I think
Yeah,
she's
Becca,
awesome.
that's crazy.
The rest of the
that part
family
was
who were
insane.
poisoned all recovered successfully. As for Dwayne, losing his mother at the young age of 16 has been very hard.
Mother's Day comes around and you think, okay, this year I'm not going to be upset. You can't get around it. That's all you think about all day long. What's going to happen when my son asks me, where's my grandma? Where's Mimi at,
In the years that followed her death, Dwayne expressed his grief through anger and outbursts. But after getting in trouble, he decided to write to his mother. His letter reads, "Dear Mom, this is your baby boy. I'd like to tell you that I love you, and I'm sorry for all the bad things I've ever done to you. Hopefully, you're in a better place now. I often think about you and wish you were here. I haven't been so good, and I'm sorry. I'll try to get my life straight." Dwayne
I'm not gonna lie, W letter to his mom, bro. W getting his life together. That's good shit, bro.
made good on his promise. Today, he's married and has become the father figure his own family deserved. He makes sure every day that his mom is proud of him and that her memory lives on. Dwayne Dubberly is living proof that even after tragedy, there is a life worth living.
Big facts. Oh my gosh. W reaction, bro. W video, man. That right there was one of my favorite videos that we have reacted to of all time. I really enjoyed that video. I skimmed through it a little bit earlier and seen a couple of things that happened on TikTok. I even went as far into looking in some of the news reports, and it got crazy, bro. That is one of the most insane cases that I've ever seen. To think about the fact that that was many years ago, and shit like that still happens to this day is unbelievable, man. Like, this world really is such a fucked up place, and I don't think a lot of people realize it. The people in the world that you would expect least to do stuff are sometimes the people that do the worst things. You know what I mean, bro? And I feel like that video right there kind of plays into giving a lesson learned everybody can take from that video, that it's kind of hard to trust people nowadays, man. If that was 30 years ago and shit is still happening like that to this day, the world clearly ain't changed. If anything, it's gotten a lot worse. So don't fucking trust people that you don't know you can fully trust, bro. Dead ass, man. That is one of the problems with this world today, is people be trusting the wrong motherfuckers, man.